Welcome to Podcast for the Recently Released. I'm your host, Liz Stardust.
And I'm your co-host, Joe Matissa.
And today we have quite a few things that we're going to be talking about. You want to lead us off?
Yes, today we are going to be going into a Netflix show called Betaal. We are also going to go a little bit more into Stargirl. And then after that, we are going to take it into a Netflix show called Black Spot.
Sounds good.
So I guess we'll start at Betaal.
These are all Netflix things. I don't know.
Betaal was the Netflix movie or show that we just watched. It's a short, limited series. Came out on the 24th of 2020. What was that, May? Yeah, May. Let's see. Now, this is a weird show because it's like it's one of those foreign shows like all the ones we've been watching. We're really into the foreign shows. And this one is a mix between, it's an Indian film, and it's got British aspects too as well. What?
Yeah, and it's from Blumhouse, which is generally a good thing, I guess. We like majority of Blumhouse.
Yeah, Blumhouse is involved in this.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it's a very, like, going into it, it's not going to be like, I don't know, the best story ever. Like, it's going to be kind of cheesy, like, immediately from the trailer.
It's like a very campy Indian version of like Army of Darkness or some kind of like,
or like World War, or no, what's it called?
Or Nazi Zombies or something.
What's the one that's on sci-fi that we like? The zombie show.
Z Nation.
Yeah, like it's that.
Yeah, it's got the campiness to it for sure. And the basic summary, I guess, of this is like it's a group that's hired to displace tribal villagers. And they're making a highway, and basically the highway officials unearth an odd curse of an army of British soldier zombies, which is pretty funny. Like,
so dumb.
But there's good aspects to it. There's a lot of gore, a lot of violent, like aspects. They're all shooting and going to war with the villagers, zombies, and then all of a sudden the zombies come in. So like, it's got lots of cool stuff, but the zombies are really funny looking. They got like glowing red eyes and big old swelled heads, but they got their British uniforms on. Yeah,
they kind of look like creatures from the Black Lagoon or something.
Yeah, and this is like a type of zombie that's like a hive mind where there's like almost like a vampire kind of Nosferatu-esque that speaks to the rest of them. You know what I mean? Or whatever you would like to consider it, but they're like zombies. They can think, they kind of all think, and they can speak and go, like if somebody gets turned into one of these zombies, then they can, I guess, think still in their previous self at times. Like you could fight back with your zombie brain. But it's pretty funny.
They're more like, I guess, like ghouls than zombies. I mean, they'll eat and stuff like zombies, but I guess the way they are is a little bit more like
as
ghouls.
Advertised as soldier zombies, right?
Yeah. So,
basically, it's hard to go in depth with, like, the whole synopsis of it, but it's basically, like, it's a mini-series that focuses on the commander, and his name is Vikram, and, like, his group of teammates, right? And, basically, they're hired as a military agency for private jobs. And so they get hired to clear this path of an old tunnel that was caved in to make a new highway that is going to connect a lot of the cities together. And one of the villages, obviously, is a rundown old tribal village, and they're like, this is going to bring more productivity here, jobs, this and that. Like, so there's, like, the positive aspects, but then there's the shady aspect of, like, these villagers are there technically protecting a curse and nobody knows about it. So when they show up and they're like, we're blowing this tunnel, like, you can't blow this tunnel. You're going to release the demons. And they're like, really, dude? Are you serious? There's no demons in the tunnel. Then they blow the tunnel. Demons. So it's pretty interesting. And like the whole time, the main character, he's like traumatized because he had to kill a young girl in a previous job and he's conflicted. And his boss is kind of like this lady who's an asshole and does shady stuff for money and kind of tells them it's their job. But so there's that whole debate the whole time of like he's not quite fully in on his job. Like sometimes he's in a debate like, should I listen, should I not listen? That whole deal. He's like constantly in turmoil. But,
yeah, for sure.
But it's really cool. And at one point when this all happens and they get attacked by these zombies, they basically have to go to an old British military bunker from back in the day. And there's all kinds of like cult stuff. They're like elders, like they put, what is it, turmeric and ash, and they make lines around it, and they they burn stuff to like keep the bad spirits away and all that. So it's got all that cool campy, you know, whatever you would call that. Black magic.
The coolest character is definitely the woman from the village that like knows about all the lore. Like she's the most badass. She's the most interesting.
Yeah,
like,
the one who's married
like,
to the really old man.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like your father is like, that's my husband, and she's like all whacked out, smoking a joint with her like machete knife sickle thing.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's really shot out, but it's good and it's really fun to watch. And basically, there's the guy who hired this private company. He's like a really sketchy businessman. And then he goes and he has his family with him. And basically when these zombies take over, they need a human sacrifice. And it needs to be, you know, the typical young, innocent kid. So they're going to go for the daughter. And so there's that whole thing like, you know, some people are going to want to sell this kid out to the zombies. Some people are going to try to protect the kid. So that's pretty fun. I don't know any of the actors, obviously, because it's foreign, you know, so it's not anybody familiar that we would know of.
I think it was, I mean, there's really nothing else I could say because you just said everything. But I enjoyed it, and I definitely think it's something, you know, fun and goofy to watch. I don't know, the lore is interesting, and the way that they go about it is also interesting. But, yeah.
They gave it a bad rating on IMDb. They gave it like a 5.4 out of 10. I think it's fun. I think it's a really fun show to watch, and like,
I give it like a 7.
Yeah, you can't take it seriously, but like that's a lot of zombie movies. That's a lot of what we like. Is that whole deal?
Yeah. So what would your rating be for the show?
My rating for Betaal would be a 7.5. I'm gonna say.
Damn, you really like that, huh?
I love campy zombies.
Well, there you go.
And like, it's not the same typical Nazi zombie stuff. It's British soldier zombies in India.
Yeah. No, it's definitely
really cool.
A unique style of a show.
Tons of fun. I would say that if they were to ever do another season of this, which I doubt, it was just like a short thing, and they do open it to where it could be another season at the end. It's really good. They gave a cool cliffhanger, but it's only like, what, 7 episodes or something? 7 or 8 episodes?
No, I think it's like a Dawn of the Dead kind of thing where they give you that cliffhanger at the end, but they're never going to do it just to put it there.
They could, though. Could be fun. They could even just make a movie out of it, like,
yeah,
as a sequel, and it would be really fun. You know, as if they keep it in that same feel the whole way through, people would love it. It would definitely be one of those, like, cult classic zombie movies if they were to push it for that, I think. At least I think. But,
what else did you want to talk about?
All right. Well, I also want to talk about Stargirl. Stargirl is very promising so far. For the most part, I think it's because of the fact that it's DC Universe involved. If this was just a straight CW show, I feel like this show would be the same typical garbage. But this is, it's been promising. It's been good. I really enjoy it. This 3rd episode that we watched really went into a lot of the JSA stuff. And if anybody is one of the old school Smallville people, they were probably a big fan of when the JSA was presented. When they showed that room and that table, and you see Dr. Fate, and you see Hawkman and Hawkgirl back in the Smallville days, and it was so comic, like, accurate looking in comparison to what Smallville was. So when they're doing it here, and she's got her costume, and they're showing that, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know about any of that stuff. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah,
like,
I love seeing the old school Lantern, the old school Flash helmet, you know, the Dr. Fate helmet. I love all that stuff. That was really cool. The only thing that obviously I don't like is that they're going to recruit a bunch of young kids to take these mantles, and somehow they're going to defeat these criminals, because that's the story.
Yeah, but it is a story. It's Stargirl. She's a teenage girl. What else is she going to do? Find more adults that are
because like I like the fact that the JSA in the past were so powerful and so experienced, and they still lost, that I would almost like to see a major defeat for the young kids on this, and have it the next season be like they don't have any success from the first season, and they have to get more help, maybe mix in some of the other universe and stuff like that. I would like to see it, like, rather than just be the campy, like, they just win all the time via magic. Like,
well, I mean, she didn't win, considering the last episode, I think it was, the kid died.
Yeah.
And that was like the bad guy's kid. So I think that they aren't making it like she's a winner. She's obviously very cocky at the moment. Like, not cocky, but she's very, like, for the cause, and like, we have to do this now, instead of trying to be smart about it. And so I'm not going to say it's her fault that kid died. Obviously, it was a little premeditated.
Well, it was premeditated, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it does feel like that to her.
Yeah.
To some degree, you know?
Yeah, and a little bit of backstory on that. Basically, Zarek the Great, he's this magician guy, and basically his kid's really into magic, doesn't know that his dad's like a previous supervillain or whatever, and he was the current guy in charge of the Injustice Society, and basically Icicle, the guy who killed the previous Starman, decided, I don't care, dude, you're a chump, I'm in charge, I'm going to take care of this. And when he was almost taken advantage of in a fight with Stargirl and Stripe, he then, you know, played a little bit against them and killed a kid on the bridge to kind of really, you know, get himself a getaway and handle some issues that he already had with this Zarek the Great. And then Zarek the Great freaks out, you know, and he's like, dude, you killed my son, I know what you're doing. When goes to go after him, and Icicle just kills him like it's nothing.
100%.
Which I was a little disappointed in. I wanted to see him, like, burst through the door with magic or something.
I would have liked to see more of him just as a magic, like, type character.
Yeah, and I would like to know, is anybody going to get the wand after this?
I'm sure he took it, so I don't know what he's going to be doing with it. But I want to see, like, some flashbacks. I hope we get, like, a good flashback episode of all of them.
Yeah, and Icicle is also the owner of the company that... So basically, Icicle is the, I guess, CEO of this major company that's doing this Project New America that is going to be redeveloping the town. And Stargirl's mother works there, so that's going to be obviously a lot of the issues, because a lot of the villains and the heroes, their kids work at school, or the parents are still in the community, and basically they're all going to get intertwined and clash and blah, 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 blah.
My main thing is I want to know who the janitor is.
Yes, the janitor. I definitely want to get in on that when it comes time.
The janitor keeps giving the eyeballs like he knows what's up, so I want to see what that is.
I'm assuming the janitor is a previous hero. They're not hinting in any way that he could be a villain necessarily.
He could have been a hero, or he could just be somebody who knows like what the fuck is up.
Or knows, yeah.
So I would like to see what that is.
Absolutely. One thing that I have a problem with still, that they are making sure to not put any continuity on, is the damn staff. The staff has a mind of its own. It can float when it wants to. It can go where it wants to. It can, like, kind of express reaction. But then sometimes, as soon as she lets go of the staff, it just doesn't work. That is a load of crap. Is it sentient? Does it float on its own normally, like 5 minutes ago? And
I wonder
then all
if it
of a
just
sudden,
it runs out of power or what. Like, I
yeah,
just like to know
right
what
in
the
the
fuck's
beginning,
up.
like the thing was flying on its own. She could throw it. It could be up in the air.
And she fights with Brainwave. It's so close to her, and it like just can't slide over to her.
And like it can get up out of the basement without her even going and touching it, and then come to her and be like, "Hey, let's go out," kind of deal.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, when she's in a fight, and if it drops, it just turns off. That's really the big problem I have with the show right now. Otherwise, everything's going good. The staff, it's such a cool character, but what's the deal with the staff? It's making me nuts. Whenever the thing goes off, I'm like, what do you mean? You were just alive. You were dancing. Dancing staff. But, oh well. This new episode, though, I would say was really good. I would give it like an 8.
These fucking cars!
Yeah, that and like quads and stuff have been big. I heard like a dirt bike on the road.
It's so loud. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, overall, I mean, I'm not gonna rate it at the moment, but I recommend people watch it. It's on par with a lot of the other DC shows. Obviously, you know, this is gonna be very teenager based, but there's still a number of adults who have storylines that are adult. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's just like.
And the overall quality of this is way higher caliber than the other shows, I think.
Yeah, I'm just saying, okay.
Well, I mean, production quality, doesn't it look like the first episode looked like a movie?
Yeah, it's good. Which
is awesome. I like that. But hopefully we'll get to see more of the Injustice Society next episode, and I'm sure that after Stargirl takes a lot of the stuff from the JSA, like all the Lantern, the Pen, the this, the that she's going to start recruiting people and all that. So maybe we'll even get a Green Lantern in this, which would be cool. We've never really gotten a Green Lantern.
We've gotten Green Lantern, and it's been bad. We don't need to see it anymore.
Not on TV, though. Like on the show. They hinted in, I think, the Arrowverse that they have a Green Lantern now that's going to be coming, but I would like to see one in this.
We'll see.
For sure, we'll see. But other than that, you know, I don't know about any of the other superhero shows that are coming out. I know that Doom Patrol gets another season, and it's coming soon. They had an ad for it, and I would love to see the daughter of the chief or whatever, you know, and his whole, or her whole deal.
We have Umbrella Academy coming up in Dark. Those are like the two shows that we'll definitely be reviewing soon. That's the two that I'm looking forward to. I think The Last of Us comes out this month too, so I'll probably be playing that. And those will be like the most, you know, the next things. I mean, I don't know what's going to come next week, but those are the things I'm looking forward to reviewing like super soon too. Yeah,
definitely. I think, let's see.
Blackout.
Other than that, we have
Spot.
Blackout, Black Spot, Black Hole, whatever you want to call this show.
I call it like everything because I never remember what it's called.
In French, what is it? Zone Blanche or something, right? And it's Black Spot, it says under it. But this is a show that apparently came out back in like 2017, but then was released to Netflix like last year. And it's got 2 seasons so far. And this is a really dope show.
Well, it said 2017, but the recent season was new. Like, it was like last year.
Yeah.
So it looks
and
like it took a year or so off.
And then everything got put onto Netflix, like just all pretty much in one big shot, I guess. June 14th, 2019, it all, I think, went to Netflix.
But I'm saying there was time between the first season and the last season that just aired.
I think that's the same thing that we're having with like Dark and stuff, is because by the time they're on a second season, they finally got the other stuff ready to go to Netflix. So they just put it over. So it goes fast when you get those first couple seasons sometimes. This one's pretty good. This show is a French show. It's also translated. Basically, it's a police investigator. She investigates a string of murders in a town where the murder rate is 6 times higher than the rest of the country. And it's like out in the middle of the woods. It's one of those towns where, like, dude, the weather must suck. They must have the worst sinuses. I mean, every day it's foggy.
It's like
foggy during the day, foggy at night.
It's very like Forks from Twilight. Like, that's how it looks. But
it's got the Twin Peaks-esque woodsiness too. It's got a lot of really cool stuff, and basically,
there's no way it isn't inspired by Twin Peaks in certain points.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go on a limb and just say that this whole thing is a supernatural take on old Celtic myths, but now put into a modern day take on the problems with climate change. Because when you watch it at a broad spectrum, it's all about the woods, the forest.
They always say how they're
connected to the woods.
Yeah.
Now, the woods seems like it's its own entity, like it could kill people, or it could save people, or it haunts everyone and affects people's personality. But then at the same time, there's like a beast in the woods. Yeah,
but they don't really say that. Like, they just kind of make it look like it's a murder mystery show, and it's like there's an ongoing... So we're on season 2 now, which we're not going to talk about. We should just talk about season 1 because there's no point in talking about season 2 yet. But in season 1, at least, every episode is its own situation with the police, whether it's like a murder or some other type of crime. Every episode has that. And then in the background, there's a story of, you know, the main cop's daughter, Cora, getting involved with some peeps. And then there's also, you know, the main cop is dealing with her own shit outside of this. So there's always different storylines. You get a detective from out of town who comes to work there because the crime is so high. Yeah. He's got like he's a more dorky version of Dale Cooper. Like, he's weird and quirky, but he's also like
they try to give you that kind of vibe with him.
Yeah.
And
he's good, but he still has his own kind of like agenda there. So you get a lot of different parts to it. Which
yeah, everybody's got some kind of deep-rooted story. I mean, the main character, when she was a child, was basically abducted and was in the woods chained up, and something was keeping her there, and then she like cuts her fingers off and escapes, but doesn't really have a memory, and is thinking that a lot of things that are happening now are connected with what happened in the past.
Yeah, so maybe when we do like our season 2 review, we can like get more deep into the whole thing overall.
Yeah, the best way I think we could go about it is just by saying that every episode is giving you a crime to solve, but then at the end of the episode, it gives you that little taste of how it all interconnects to itself.
Yeah,
like on the broad spectrum. So it's really cool. You can kind of pick it up sometimes just for a fun episode, but at the same time, if you want to find the whole story, you could really go into it.
Yeah, it's like a very well done show, so I'm surprised people aren't talking about it, but nobody really talks about the forward stuff.
Yeah, especially, I don't know how everybody else's Netflix are, but we see it more because we've watched so much of it that they're constantly like, watch this show, and then we're constantly just making sure to check if it's in English so we can even pay attention.
Yeah.
You know, so, but this show is really good, and I would love to see, like, quite a few seasons of it, because I feel like they could go on forever, especially because... with the crime stuff and the amount of interconnection with the politics of, like, it's a very small town, the wealthy people that are there and have been there for generations have a lot of pull. You know, they have a lot of investments in their factories, things like that. So they do have a lot more ability to, you know, communicate with random people to get them to do jobs, to do this, to do that. So there's a lot of fucked up underground shit going on. That's a lot of cool stuff to watch. Then at the same time, the crime-solving aspect is a good aspect to watch. And then the supernatural aspect and all the Celtic myths and stuff is really cool. So I think there's just a lot of interesting stuff in this to get into.
No, for sure. There's definitely a lot about the show that I think any type of person, like, if you like any type of sci-fi, I think there's something for everybody. There's, like, the murder mystery. There's, like, the, you know, like you said, the old Celtic kind of mythology. They were talking about druids and stuff. So there's, like, a lot of things that can come into play. And I think it's a good, wide audience can enjoy this show.
Yeah, and one thing that you were saying, what was it, yesterday or the day before, that was cracking me up, where you're like, yo, the kids are just, like, gone all the time. Like, they can just do whatever they want. And I'm like... out in the country, especially, like, kids play in the woods all day. They go hunting.
Like in season 2, there's a part where, like, I don't even want to talk about it because it's a spoiler, I guess, for this end of the season. But there's a parent with a kid, and the parent's at the bar, and the kid shows up on a bike, and they're like, all right, see you later. Like, what? It's, like, super late at night. You know murders are going on, and you're just going to let your kid ride their bike home, and then you'll see them later. Like...
yeah, so that's pretty interesting, and it's cool because obviously it's different culture. Not only is it not necessarily comparable to a standard French culture that you would see when you go into the major parts like, you know, Paris, Nice, and things like that. This is a totally different aspect. These are out in the mountains, woodsmen. You know, they're very interesting. It's very... cool to see the personality differences, especially between the people that are there bringing from the city to work on these cases versus the standard citizen. So it's really fun to watch the dynamic of how drastically different. Like, this is some boonies shit going on, you know? So it's really fun, and I love the creature thing. I think it's really creepy. It's got, like, it makes the predator noises. Yeah. The clicky sound. I'm waiting for any minute for it to just do some predator shit, you know? What do you think overall so far?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's like a 10 for me. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with at least the first season. I don't know how season 2 is, but it's definitely one of my favorites. Like, my favorite Netflix show original is Dark, for sure. Yeah. But I think there's so many other good shows, and this is up there with it.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. It's 16 episodes, I think, for the 2 seasons so far.
Yeah, there's 8 each.
And... definitely worth watching. I mean, you could really binge the hell out of this one. And the other characters in it, too, like the inspector and that you were saying, he's really quirky. And the other 2 police officers, Baloo, he's like the kind of big burly teddy bear guy. And then there's the more older, almost like near retirement.
Ron Swanson, fisherman type.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, the Herminator and Baloo.
Yeah, they're great. They're just, I don't know. They all have great different personalities. They're so drastically different, and I enjoy that.
Yeah, and what's awesome too is that they're all kind of a little fucked up too. Like, they all got, like, at some point some kind of aspect of their life that they've done that's like some messed up shit. And, like, there's some kind of scandal going on with damn near all of them. But it's small town stuff, and it's 6 times the crime rate of the rest of the country, so yeah.
The mayor is so hot. Stuff. We need more of the mayor. That's all I'm going to say. Yes.
The mayor's old.
I love him.
He's cool. He's damaged.
Yeah.
The mayor is a very damaged case because right in the beginning, the mayor's daughter is pretty much missing. They tell you that it's been a while that she's been missing. She was taken by the woods or taken by this or taken by somebody, whatever. And so there's a lot of controversy. And the main cop, she's still trying to figure out what happened to this kid. You know, so it's really interesting. Definitely check that one out. I'm gonna, like you said, what, a 10?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a solid 9 for sure already. You know, I'd love to see the ending for the second season to give it a real, like, solid
season
number.
1 was fantastic.
But season 1 was great. This is really, really awesome show, and that'll get us real hype for when Dark season 3 comes out.
I can't wait. It's the last season.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good.
absolutely.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? I feel like it's a shorter episode, but
this is a bit of a shorter episode. I mean, well, because I have all the notes down. We've been fresh into it, and we were like boom, 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 right through it.
Yeah, but there's also just not a lot going on. Like we can't get too far into this show because season 2 hasn't happened, and Betaal was short, and Stargirl's only on episode 3.
Yeah.
So we definitely would like to do, more detailed stuff in the future. It's just like there's not even any movies out right now. It's hard.
Yeah, and once a couple more movies come out to either VOD or when we eventually get to maybe hit our theater for the first time in a while, we're definitely going to jump on reviews for that.
Yeah, maybe
right away.
We'll try and figure out something else to talk about that isn't movies or television.
Also, the new update for the Pokemon DLC, the expansions, those are coming out. And I believe the first one comes out this month. So I'll definitely be talking about the Pokemon expansion.
And it's wedding season in Animal Crossing. So if you were playing Animal Crossing still, you can decorate.
I thought that already happened.
It's right now. It's all of June. So you can decorate your wedding chapel, take cute pictures with Reese and Cyrus. And then each day you get heart crystals, which you collect to buy the specific furniture. And it's really nice and super fun. Very relaxing.
Very relaxing. Well, that's what I feel about Pokemon, so I'm going to be dueling like crazy.
Sure. While we're here, we'd like to say that JoeBot Shop is still open, so if you would like to get yourself a face mask, a t-shirt, keychains, or other cool things, make sure you check that out. He's making some D&D dice box things, like the rollers, I believe they're called, that are pretty cool right now. People seem to be into that. He does not care about D&D. But I do. Yeah,
I know nothing about D&D, and everybody can feel free to hit us up and harass me about it, but honestly, it's never been an idea of something that I would like to do.
Yeah.
But I'm still working on it. It was a lot of fun making these little dice boxes, and she's probably going to make me play it at some point.
Of course. And my web store is open, which is lewisstardust.com. You can go over there to get Vampirella comics. I have only a few pins left. Couple other goodies on there. Aside from that, I have been streaming on Twitch. I really wasn't on this week, but we're generally on there 4 days a week. We hit affiliate now, which is really cool, so we have some subscriber stuff on there where if you sub, you get access to Discord, you get access to emotes and sub badges made by Mr. Matissa over here, and you also get added to my Discord, which my Discord is pretty cool because we've been playing some Jackbox games on there. We have all types of threads and fun things on there, so if you want to check that out, then that's just twitch.tv/LewisStardust. I guess that's like what we haven't been doing besides our podcast, or what we've been doing besides our podcast.
Yeah, we've been working a lot on that.
Yeah.
That's been our big project right now.
Yeah, but I think that's all we have to say this week.
Yeah.
I know it's a little bit shorter, but tune in next week and we'll probably have a more lengthy review of Black.
Yeah.
Was it the Black Spot? I can't
the Black Spot.
Yes.
I was calling it all kinds of stuff.
I know.
You know, I was calling it Black Zone.
I was calling it Dark Spot.
Dark Spot. Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever. Just whatever kind of spot you want to call it. It's cool with me.
There it is.
But great show. I'm giving it a 9. She's giving it a 10. And that basically covers everything we have for today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Again, give us a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We really appreciate it.
We'll see you next week.
Stay safe out there. Thanks for listening to yet another episode of Podcast for the Recently Released. If you want to peep some of our older episodes, we've got a ton of them. Just check us out on podcastfortherecentlyreleased.com. We've got merch, older episodes, links for other ways to listen to us, and more. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Don't let your meatloaf. Stay safe out there, guys.